Good morning. Welcome to the launch of Logicom Solutions Absolute IT Infrastructure Monitoring Solution as a Service. Thank you for your participation and your interest today. We had registrations from Greece, Malta, Bulgaria, Lebanon, Lithuania, and UK. This morning, Logicom Solutions consultants will introduce you to the monitoring solution. You will experience through a demo how these monitoring solutions allows your business to monitor the health of just about everything in your IT infrastructure, including servers, networks, firewalls, databases, applications, and more through a single dashboard. Please note that the event is being recorded. Our speakers for today are Mr. Chrysostomos Kridiotis, Managing Director of Logicom Solutions, Mr. Papos Haralambous, Global Director, Sales and Business Development, Logicom Solutions, Mr. Spyros Anemogiannis, Senior Pre-Sales Consultant, ICT, Logicom Solutions, Mr. Haris Floridis, Division Head, Business Consulting Services, Logicom Solutions. You can use the Q&A window for your questions, and our consultants will be happy to answer your question at the end of the event. We would like to mention that all organizations who have attended this morning event are entitled to 2 additional months of their first annual service subscription. Stay tuned to find out more. Let us welcome now Mr. Chrysostomos Kridiotis, Managing Director of Logicom Solutions, for his welcome note.
Thank you, Daphne. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the virtual launch event of the Absolute IT Monitoring as a Service, brought to you by Logicom Solutions. We thank you for your participation today and wish you an insightful and interesting virtual event. As some of you might not know Logicom Solutions, allow me to start with a very brief introduction to our company. Our mission is to be the digital transformation partner of choice for our customers and partners, to support them in a holistic, end-to-end manner in their digital transformation journey. Logicom Solutions is part of the Logicom Group of companies, a group with a turnover of around $1 billion for 2019, employing more than 800 people in 15 countries around the world, with the group's operations covering mainly Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Southeast Asia. The group operates in 3 main areas: the wholesale distribution of technology solutions and services, investments, and the provision of turnkey integrated solutions and services, part of which is Logicom Solutions. As regards to Logicom Solutions now, we're the largest solutions and services integrator in Cyprus and one of the largest in the region, with a turnover of around $40 million and around 100 people in personnel. We offer services that cover everything that has to do with the digital needs of large enterprises, mainly in Cyprus, Greece, and Malta, but also the wider Southeastern Europe region. We are a gold partner of Cisco, Microsoft, and Dell EMC, and we have a long-lasting partnership with Accenture. Our services portfolio is focused around 4 main areas. Firstly, we offer consulting services, supporting our customers in defining their digital transformation and IT strategy, enhancing their IT operating model, re-engineering their business processes, building advanced analytics, and strengthening their cybersecurity posture. Secondly, we design, develop, and deploy business solutions and software. We develop custom-made applications and integrated solutions for our customers, as well as implement software solutions in areas like business process management, CRM, ERP, and others. Thirdly, the area for which we are most well known for is the design, implementation, and maintenance of infrastructure solutions, from data centers to complex networking and security solutions to collaboration and cloud infrastructure solutions. The fourth area includes our portfolio of managed services, part of which is the topic of our today's event. And today, we are happy to launch our new all-in-one IT monitoring as a service that has been carefully designed and developed throughout last year leveraging the many years of experience of Logicom Solutions in supporting organizations design, build, and maintain their IT infrastructure. In today's increasingly digital business environment, IT infrastructure is at the heart of the digital business and connects every area: physical and virtual servers, storage, database, networks, and cloud services. As IT infrastructure is becoming increasingly distributed and complex, organizations face the challenge of aligning business objectives and end-user experience with the availability and performance of their IT infrastructure. If you don't have the insight into your infrastructure, software, and services that operate your business, you can't efficiently run your business. This shift requires infrastructure monitoring to ensure all your infrastructure components work together across applications, operating systems, storage, servers, virtualization, and more. Therefore, infrastructure monitoring should be at the core of any organization's IT strategy. And that's exactly what Logicom Solutions offers. Here in Logicom Solutions, we have worked to bring to you a service that is both affordable and comprehensive to support the need for a holistic and continuous view of the IT infrastructure of your organization. We have built a single pane of glass approach to monitor the performance, availability, and capacity of all of your IT assets. Our infrastructure monitoring solution can provide through a single portal full visibility on the current status of your infrastructure, IT services, and applications, regardless if this is hosted on premise, on cloud, or if a hybrid model is being adopted. Our team of experts can work with your teams to review your existing infrastructure and advise on how you can maximize the benefits from the adoption of this service. With our IT monitoring solution as a service, you can continuously monitor from a single platform the availability, performance, and resource efficiency of your entire IT infrastructure. Proactively detect and attend potential issues to avoid glitches, which can lead to downtimes and bad end-user experience, both internally from business users as well as externally from customers. Get real-time notifications to quickly react to any potential issues in your infrastructure. Avoid network and system outages by having continuous visibility of any network and system issues in your infrastructure. Critical events or configuration-related problems before they can become a reason for a critical network or system failure. Get important insights to conduct your capacity and budget planning for future upgrades. Improve the reliability of your IT resources by surfacing prevailing issues and resolve them quickly and effectively. And finally, improve the return on investment of the business by allowing the IT department to spend less time on monitoring IT systems and more time delivering real value to business. I now call to the stage my colleague, Pambos Charalambous, to provide us with more information as to the service and how each and every organization can gain easily and immediately better visibility into the status of their IT infrastructure. Pambo, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Chrysostomos, and good morning, everyone. On my behalf, as head of the Sales and Business Development Division, let me also welcome all of you to the launch event of Logicom Solutions' first managed service, the all-in-one IT infrastructure monitoring as a service. I think Chrysostomos presented very well the benefits to all businesses of this new service. And I think they are very well stated and easy to understand. Allow me though to go a step back and analyze a bit what we have been asked lately by several customers of ours. Why this service and why now? We are on the ground daily with all of you. We are living in unprecedented times, and COVID-19 has pushed, and it is still pushing, our personal and professional lives to the limit. At the same time, it is also driving and expediting digital transformation initiatives in all businesses across all market sectors. Information technology is the core of this transformation, and it enabled all of us on a personal level, but also on a professional and business-wise levels to stay connected and continue running our business. The examples vary out there, and they show that any size of business, small, medium, large, it doesn't matter, invested in IT technology so that they continue operating. From simply moving employees to mobile devices and laptops, building electronic commerce sites so they can continue be active and selling their products and services online instead of having physical shops in lieu of the restrictions and the closure of intermittent of several businesses because of the restrictive measures by the government, but also quickly commission on cloud and or on-prem new services, new applications, so that they can continue running their business and stay in the game. The same is valid also for investments in collaboration platforms such as Teams, WebEx, etc., so that they can bring together employees with their customers on a daily basis, conducting remote meetings instead of physical face-to-face meetings. As such, these IT resources and these IT systems, they need to be available. They need to be monitored, and you as business owners or IT managers, you need to have the ability to act quickly to failures, and if possible, to perform proactive actions before systems breakdowns or before they reach their IT resource limits. And this is where we come in with this service. This is what you have asked for. The major goals and objectives following on what I just mentioned before is to deliver to you and deliver to our customers a cloud-based platform which they will be, it will be alive and helping you monitor your infrastructure on a 24/7 basis. Provide this service to a wide client base at an attractive price. And that's very important. And I know it's very important for you, all of you, and we will see at the end about our pricing model. Ready-made content that has been created by Logicom experts to provide predefined and standardized set of dashboards and reports specific to infrastructure components. And lastly, but not least, as I mentioned before, to enable our customers to proactively manage their IT infrastructure rather than reactively remediate any issues. So, as we emphasized before, your business relies on the availability of your IT systems. An outage can expose you in experiencing prolonged downtimes, negative customer experience, increased cost, and exposure in different types of risk: operational risks, reputational risks, financial risks, and dependent on the industry you are in, compliance risks. So that is why this service is very, very important to all of you. And this is the feedback we have been getting from the market today. For you as business owners or as IT personnel in your companies, the service is pretty simple. Look at it as a cloud-based service. The platform is hosted in our secure hosting facilities, and with the help of a small software like a proxy and some agents on your devices within your premises who are collecting logs and events which are transmitted via the internet to our platform at the back end. You will hear more about it in the next presentation from our engineers and consultants about how easy it is to set up this service. But this is just to give you an idea on, from a high-level point of view, how it works. As Chrysostomos mentioned in his presentation, the capabilities of our service and the platform are vast. We can monitor for you your networks, your servers, your storage devices, your cloud environments, applications, services, databases, virtual machines, even websites, your active websites that they are out making money for you. We will see a little bit more in detail in the following presentation from our experts about some ready-made dashboards that we have built for you and ready for you to use as tenants of our platforms. We used our experience in this industry and we created ready-made dashboards, and we gather information for you across different manufacturers, and all this information and KPIs can help you perform network performance, network and security devices monitoring, server and storage monitoring, and several other services that might be important for your business, like web services, the virtual platforms you have, database monitoring, and so on. From our experience and what we have seen with customers already on the platform, the ready-made dashboards we have built for you covers about 90% of all of the company needs out there today. Pricing, we will leave it at the end, so stay tuned, and we will come back to pricing after the live demo and the presentation in more detail for the service from our experts, Spyros Anemoyannis, who is in our office in Greece as a senior pre-sales consultant, and also Haris Floridis, the division head of our business consulting services.
Thank you, Bambos. In my turn, I would like to thank again everyone for attending today the virtual launch of our Absolute IT Monitoring as a Service. We are very excited for being here and presenting a solution which has been designed in a way to provide a single pane of glass to keeping constant watch over the performance, availability, and capacity of all of your critical IT assets. My name is Haris Floridis, Division Head of Business Consulting Services, and I'm here with Spyros Anemoyannis, Senior Pre-Sales Consultant, to present a demo of the Absolute IT Monitoring as a Service. Spyros had a leading role in the design and implementation of the solution, and he will drive us through and provide insights on the 6 topics. Spyros, if you can share your screen.
Yes, I'm sharing my screen now.
Go to the next slide. The 6 topics that we'll see will cover through the demo. As we see here in the slide, with Spyros, we'll talk on the design and architecture of the solution. We'll cover the security aspect. We'll see the different available dashboards that have been prepared, and we'll also go through the different alerts and the workflows being supported by the system. Now, moving to the first slide, the first question of Spyros. This service, the Absolute IT Infrastructure Monitoring, is designed to support the complete IT infrastructure landscape of an organization. Can you provide us with some insight on how this can be accomplished? What systems, services can this solution monitor? And we would also like to know how it can support organizations running hybrid models with on-premise and also cloud environments.
Yes, sure. Good morning from me, and I would like to thank you all for joining us today. So let's talk a little bit briefly about the architecture of the service. This service was designed to be consumed as a cloud service, as Pampos also mentioned already, with focus on security and, of course, simplicity and scalability in order to accommodate many customer environments with no issues on performance, on security, and whatever issues may occur from the architecture. So this distributed architecture is it has the following components. The main component is the proxy server, which is a software that we install in each customer premises. And this proxy gives us several advantages. The most of monitoring functionality is executed within this proxy server, and the proxy server itself has limited communication with our monitoring service at our Logicom data center. This approach is giving us several advantages. First of all the data metrics, polling and gathering is performed locally inside the customer premises from the local proxy. So in this matter, we don't have any burden on the bandwidth of the communication between the target devices and our monitoring service, because all the polling and data gathering is performed locally inside the customer beside the firewall. And then all the data are forwarded in a secure way, in a bulked and compressed way back to our system on the data center. The second advantage of this distributed architecture is, of course, the security advantage that give us, because in the firewall, we don't have to open connections to every target device, but just one secure connection from the proxy server to the monitoring service. Finally, the distributed architecture gives us the opportunity to have a redundancy plan in case of the internet connection is down or there is a failure on the one connection. In that case, all the data gathered by the proxy are stored and cached locally. And when the one communication is back up, the proxy again sends the bulk data back to the service, so we don't lose any data for a particular time. This distributed architecture is clearly also help us to provide higher scalability and separation of data for every site that the customer has. And the only thing, again, as we mentioned, we need to install is the proxy server and also the agents. So speaking of the agents, how the monitoring works, basically we start with the data collection on the left side of the screen inside the customer's data center. There are two ways to gather data. One way is, as we mentioned already, with the agents installed on the target devices. The agent is a very small software with a small footprint. It supports all operating systems known today. So there are no compatibility issues whatsoever or any performance issues that you might be worried about. And the second way to gather data is, of course, by agentless polling in cases that we cannot install any agent on the device. For example, for network machines, there is a way to gather data via protocols which are agentless, like SNMP or ODBC connections to database servers or API calls to other systems, etc. So these data are gathered, as we said, to the proxy, and then the proxy sends the data to the main data analysis server in our hosted data center, and there the data are analyzed and processed. In case that we have some issues with thresholds that we have set up, or there are some many errors occurred, there is of course an automatic notification system that will provide you with alerts either by emailing you, email your administrator or the group of administrators, or integrate with an ITSM system that you may have, for example, a ServiceNow system that you may have already in your company. They're going to be also a chance to open a ticket onto the ticketing system automatically through our system, from monitoring service. Then the data are of course stored to the data repository to keep historic data, give us the opportunity to provide the trend analysis and historic reports, and also provide the data to our graphical user interface, which is a modern dashboard-based web interface, which provides nice ways to visualize the data and get a good idea of what's going on in their system. And we're going to see that live in a while. As Pampos mentioned, this service is a unified infrastructure monitoring service. That means that it covers a broad range of technologies and infrastructure, starting with networks, supporting major brands like Cisco, Checkpoint firewalls, HP switches, and Aruba devices, for example. Then, of course, we have the servers, supporting, of course, physical and virtual servers in various hypervisor platforms. We have the opportunity to monitor also infrastructure that resides in the cloud, like AWS or Azure applications. That means that we have some ready-made monitoring templates for well-known applications like Exchange Server, like SharePoint, for example, that we can also monitor. The services means that we can also, if we have an agent on the machine, we can monitor the status of critical services that were critical for you, and we can monitor if the service is down to raise an alarm, or perhaps run a script to start the service again. Web monitoring. This is a very nice opportunity for me to give you an idea of a use case scenario here regarding web monitoring. This is about the ability we have to create some synthetic monitoring. That means that we can, the system can personate a user accessing your website and provide back information about how long it took for the site to load, if the site was loaded correctly, and if it was available, of course. So it will give us a good knowledge if something is wrong with a website that we are serving to our customers, even before a customer notices. And this is a real nice use case to consider. Of course, again, storage devices regarding IBM, HP, and all the other major vendors, virtual machines, we already mentioned that. Java applications means we can also monitor and give information about metrics regarding application servers of Java, like JBoss or WebSphere, etc. And of course, databases with IBM databases and Oracle and SQL database as well. Okay, now going to the second.
Excellent, Spiros. Thanks, and very well explained. Moving now to the second topic, security and data protection. I believe that one of the major areas of concern when moving a new service to cloud is related to cybersecurity matters. Spiros, can you explain the security controls that have been designed, implemented to safeguard this service? How can we feel confident and comfortable that this service is being protected by the best security practices? And the last part of my question is related to data privacy. And if we can explain what information is being collected, processed, or stored by the Absolute IT Infrastructure Monitoring as a Service.
Certainly. So, from the start, when we designed this service, our main focus was, of course, the security, both of the data and and of course, the user access to the system. This service is a multi-tenant environment, meaning that every user will see, of course, only its own data whatsoever. There were many security audits conducted by qualified cybersecurity experts. So we try to get all the data, feedback back from these security audits to further strengthen our service. We have continuous security monitoring, of course, in our premises with all the technology that Logicom Solutions has and the expertise in our teams. We have implemented strong authentication controls, both for the data gathering and also the user access, which will require multi-factor authentication to log into the visualization system, to the graphical user interface. And of course, the service is hosted in a data center which is ISO 27001 certified, as all the company is. So I think that we keep constantly doing whatever is possible to secure the platform. And also about your question about the kind of data that we're gathering. The data we're gathering are clearly performance monitoring data. We don't have the need, and of course, we don't gather any critical data or personal data that might affect the security. Plainly and clearly, only performance data is gathered and stored in the system.
Very nice, Spiro. Yes. So it's only data that are not do not include any sensitive information.
Yeah, any private information.
But regardless of the sensitivity of data being connected, indeed, the security controls implemented and have been what you have described now, I think gives a strong confidence on how securely this service can be delivered. I think now we can move to the third topic, and it is the time to provide a first view to everyone on what users will be able to view through the different dashboards that have been prepared for each individual asset that will be monitoring. As described before, those dashboards have been designed based on the knowledge and the extended experience of people who have been working on providing such services and are intended to provide a holistic view on the health status and the KPIs of the different technologies of each asset. We are ready now to view the first dashboard from Spiros.
Yes, certainly we have created a view for you. So I hope the video is okay. So okay, so you see here an indicative dashboard about network devices, and we see this one is a Cisco router that we're monitoring here, and we get various KPIs and metrics regarding networks, like of course the availability, the iOS version, and information about the memory utilization of the system, CPU utilization, the temperature, power supply status, fan status, and of course a graphical depiction of the utilization. Of course, we have also status of the interfaces and the traffic, the interfaces, incoming interfaces. We can hover on the graph screen and we will see all the interfaces currently and how much traffic they have, either incoming or outgoing. We can see also discarded packets, error packets that may occur. Of course, these KPIs are not the only ones that we can gather. These are indicative KPIs that we have already made for you available based on best practices. And of course, if there are other KPIs, we can easily integrate them in the dashboard. Now here I switched the dashboard to another device, which is a Cisco switch now. And you see that the dashboard automatically has a kind of change depicting the metrics that are relevant to the switch now. We see we have only one fan status. And now we see another dashboard, which is an MS SQL database. So you see here different panels and different KPIs, again, focused on the technology of MS SQL Server. For example, the number of threads running, what is the status of the memory, SQL memory manager information, physical disks, processor time, active transactions on the system, and other MS SQL related metrics and KPIs available for you. Of course, at the downside, we have the status of important SQL services that are running on the system. Another dashboard to have an idea of a different technology we may have is a Windows Server, of course. So we see here a Windows Server machine with the relevant KPIs for disk utilization, the CPU and memory, the uptime, and all the graphical, again, KPIs about the information about the file systems, the network traffic of the in-network interface, incoming and outgoing, and of course, again, some critical services that are running in the system. What's the status of them? Another example is the Checkpoint Firewall. So here we see the Checkpoint Firewall, the number of current connections that it has right now in the last 1 hour, CPU utilization, the fan status, the disk space utilization, and other information regarding this firewall device. So you get a good idea of the breadth and the how many different technologies we can depict, and we can give you KPIs and metrics already available out of the box. And of course, if you have need to see another metric, another KPI, we can easily incorporate it into the dashboard for you. Last, we can see an IBM storage device. And here we see the disk drives, what's the status, what is the capacity right now, what's the total capacity of the system, the status of the enclosure and things like that, IO, read and write information, IOPS, right, the average and current. You can we can see latency information as well. Another interesting aspect is that you can select the time period. So here you see available historic data. So you can go back in time and see and when you select, or you can customize the time range. So in that way, when you select a different period, the dashboard automatically changes and tries to bring data regarding the time period that you selected. So in a few seconds, we will see now that the same panels gives you a summary view of the last 7 days that we have selected. You see here, now the panel is changed per day, and it gives you the last week status. So that's it to get an idea of different dashboards and what kind of metrics we can deliver.
Thank you, Spiros. We see how important it is to have a single pane of glass to monitor all our IT assets of our organization. And one more question, Spiros. We understand, and you have briefly explained that currently the solution covers and supports the vast majority of systems that most organizations have. Now, in case or if a customer has a system or a service which is not being currently supported, is there a process to examine how we can support those additional assets as well?
Yeah, sure. As we said, we are always looking to enhance our portfolio, let's say, of dashboards and monitoring systems. And of course, if there is a new device, a new technology that we don't have anything yet ready, we can discuss with the customer and bring that, of course, to the system. As long as it is able to monitor it, we can able to provide dashboards for you, like all the other technologies are already available. But we are in the process of constantly upgrading and our portfolio, let's say, of dashboards.
And I believe the vast majority is already being covered.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
Now moving to the next slide. And going through the list of attendees, Spiros, I can see that we have people with different roles, some of which may not have or need to have a strong technical background. Is this service suitable for everyone? Can this service provide a more high-level, summarized view of the health status of the infrastructure without requiring from someone to have this strong technical expertise or background?
Yes, sure, certainly. There is also the need that you mentioned that we need sometimes a high-level view of our service that is consisted of various technologies like network systems and storage systems, etc. Yeah, of course, we can provide some high-level executive, like we say, views, and also give you the opportunity to have summary dashboards, so you don't have to go to each particular device each time to see its individual metrics. So let's see this particular case here that we have a service, we have a central dashboard here, a high-level dashboard, with a service that consists of network, a group of network interfaces, a group of servers, and a group of storage infrastructure. So we see here the status, if there are any alarms raised during the last hour that you are monitoring right now, and of course the summary dashboards. So if you click on that, we go directly to a summary status of all the servers that we're monitoring. So here we see a summary and the top 10 interfaces from all the servers that we monitor, not just the one server that we were seeing in the last session we had. So here you get a high-level view and a summary view. And if you go back in time, let's see for the last, you see now that the active alarms that we have is on the network side. So if you click on the alarm button, you go directly to the alarm console and be able to see what kind of problems you have on that particular case. And this is a good also view of, from the root cause analysis point of view, because you will see that here, if the service has a problem or the user experience is bad, you can see that in the group of servers, you don't have any alarms, and all the alarms are from the network side. So it gives you a kind of good indication of what the problem might be.
Yes, this is a great view to obtain a helicopter view of the whole infrastructure and the health status of the different areas. And I think that
divided in groups.
Exactly.
In groups of infrastructure.
Now, to the fifth topic, what we have seen so far is related to the current health status of the different systems, services, and applications. However, many organizations need to conduct different capacity management exercises throughout the year, or at least once a year, to review the usage, performance, and to properly plan and manage their future upgrades. How this solution can support this process? I mean, the capacity management process that different organizations need to conduct. Does it provide insights on historic data, which can be used from an organization to examine the behavior of the different systems that are being monitored?
Yes, of course, because we have the data, the historic data stored in our system, we can easily provide trend analysis and also reporting for the customers. Either give the report to some executive or to the management, or use the report for capacity planning, let's say. So again, we can see here in this demo that we have a demo storage device, and we have the dashboard here that is now monitoring the last 1 hour. But if I want to run a report for the last, let's say, for the last week, perhaps last 7 days, in a few seconds, the dashboard will switch back, will give us back the historic data, and then on the right side, I can press the button of generating a PDF report. So this is the PDF report to give you an idea how it will look like for the a weekly report that you can get and mail to your management or keep it for your records or planning regarding the capacity. It's very easy. You don't have any, the only thing you have to do is select the period that you want, bring back the historic data and run the report. Press the report button, and that's it.
Excellent, Spiros. Thank you. Going now to the next slide and the last section of this presentation of the demo of our solution, it is important to stress that missing visibility on incidents or alerts for forthcoming issues can result in experiencing risk as they have been described by Bambos before, such as downtimes, negative customer experience, increased costs, or exposure to reputational or compliance risks. Now, Spiros, how can we be sure that we will not miss any critical alert of the system? We nowadays understand that IT departments are overwhelmed with multiple projects and activities, and they may not have the time to be monitoring continuously the different dashboards that we have presented before. How can the system save their time without compromising the risk of not taking timely actions?
Yes, of course, we are really well aware that most of the time the teams of the customers are not able to sit all day in front of the monitoring screen and see the dashboards or the alarms console. And what they really need is to be timely notified of a problem in the system and act in the way, or create a workflow which is pretty much automatic, running a script, for example, to start up a service that has been down or reboot a server, for example. So our main goal is to create an automatic alerting service. And as we said, the alerting can be either to send an email to your teams or to individual administrator, or to integrate with any existing ITSM ticketing system. So I have a scenario here, a small scenario. Okay. So this is me. I received an email from the monitoring@logicom.net. This is the email address of our monitoring system, saying that there is a problem with the interface, which is been down. And this email provides me also information on when the problem started, what was the problem name, and yeah, you see here the monitoring@logicom.net is our mail, the name of the mail server. The problem name again, and which host this alarm fired from, the severity and other information. And important here is the ICT alarms link. So here, by pressing this link, it will automatically send me to the alarm console and be able here to see a little to have a little bit deeper look on the problem, how long this problem is running for 28 minutes, a small description, and then I have different options. I can acknowledge the problem, change the severity, close the problem, or run, for example, an automatic script on that. So this is a real simple workflow and real simple alerting that we have developed.
It is very important to have this alert and notifications being delivered directly to the administrators' mailboxes or to the IT ticketing system, as they will not need. We ensure that they will not miss any critical alert, and they also can click to the link. I saw you had direct access to the portal. Is because you are already logged in?
Yes, for the demo, yeah, I was already logged in, yeah.
And the user will be able to view the details of the alert and take action, acknowledge and confirm that this has been resolved.
Yes, and that console, it will automatically, of course, synchronize with the backend system or the ITSM system. So whatever, from the time we close the ticket, the alarm here, the ticket will close also the ITSM.
Excellent. So thanks a lot, Spiros. That was the last topic.
Yep.
That was the last topic of this demo for the Absolute IT Monitoring as a Service. We are looking forward to working with you for the implementation and provides more information about our solution. I'm now calling Bambos for his final remarks.
Wow. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Spiro. If we were right now in a conference facility, you would have been getting a big clap. So maybe post-COVID times, we will do this presentation to all of you in a conference facility. Oh boy, how much we missed that. So excellent work. Thank you so much for presenting this, Spiro and Haris. I think you have provided a very good insight about the service. So the last part of the presentation is about the pricing. As I promised in the beginning, the price of this service is, we worked it in such a way so that it is an attractive price. So we are offering this service for €75 per month, VAT not included, of course, for the first 100 devices. This comes to about €2.50 per day for 100 monitor devices. We have created 3 easy to understand packages for you. The first 100 devices at €900 per year. So this is an annual commitment. It's a service where you prepay for 12 months. It starts at €900. That's the annual service fee. And it covers 100 devices, as I mentioned before. And device is whatever you are actively monitoring with this service, whether it's a virtual or a physical or a switch or an element, it counts as a device. We believe, especially in our part of the world, in our region here, we believe that we will, with this first initial package, we cover most of the small and medium businesses. This cost is per proxy, meaning that if you have multiple locations, most likely you will be covered with one proxy. But if you have locations where you have sizable infrastructure, like a secondary data center, etc., most likely we will need to put a second proxy to gather that information and send it compressed back to the platform. But this is something that, based on your environment, we can discuss with you before joining the service so that we do the right design for you. Most of the cases we see, you will be covered with one proxy. The second package, we moved to from 100 to 115 devices for €1,300 per year. The last package from 151 devices to 200 devices to €1,700 per year. Of course, there will be occasions where you are a larger organization and you want to get this monitoring as a service, then you need to contact us. We will be more than happy to help you, and we will design a price model to work for you with more than 200 devices. Also, feedback we received from our clients is that, most of you don't want to install the agents, you don't want to install the proxies, and you want to give that to us. No problem. We have created very low cost packages of services where you select any of these prefixed packages dependent on the number of devices you want to monitor, where we will do all of the necessary installations of the proxy and the agents where needed, so that we can gather all of this information back to the platform. Also, another request we had from you, lots of you are smaller businesses or medium businesses without the capacity for your in-house IT resources to be getting all these alerts and working on them, etc. No problem with that. We can cover you on that as well. we can offer above and beyond this service an outsourced service for you. So reach out to us and let's discuss, let's design together the scope of this extra service so that we can be getting all of the alerts for your systems, for your elements, and based on the scope mutually agreed, we can provide to you any type of services you might want. Don't forget, as we said before, we are one of the biggest system integrators. IT and IT infrastructure is our bread and butter. So we have in-house expertise where we can help you in any of these extra services. Before I go to how to order, let me remind you that every one of you that attended the event today from the registrar list we are offering 2 extra months on your first annual subscription. So you will pay for 1 year, but you will get, instead of 12 months, you will get 14 months of monitoring. So this is our offer for you today for all of those that attended our launch event today. How to order is very simple. We are a business-to-business organization, so we work a lot with personal contacts. So email us or call us. Our email is very easy to remember, solutions@logicom.net, or call us. Okay, our phone number is not that easy to remember, but please register it down, or just simply send us an email. If you are an existing client of ours, just contact your account manager. If you're an existing customer, you know your account manager for sure from my organization. Just contact that account manager directly and he will guide you through how to get you ongoing on our service. And of course, in parallel, we are building our website with all of these richness of assets that are ready for you, and also to be able to order and pay this service online. So this concludes the last part of the presentation. And Daphne, back to you for the Q&A session.
Thank you, Pablos. We'll proceed now with our Q&A. There are some questions in the Q&A that have already been answered by Spiros. And we have some questions in the chat. The first one is, what is the max retention period of keeping customer logs for report creations?
It depends. The maximum retention period can be customized and configured by us or you, the customer. It depends on the metrics. We can go up to 90 days and more, depending on the need. So it's a configuration issue for us. It's not by default is about 90 days right now, but we can extend that or minimize it depending on your needs.
Are there automated monthly reports created and sent to the customer, which makes sense when delivering business value through SLAs?
Yes, as I said, the PDF generated report, you can download it and send it to your customers. If you want to do it automatically, there is a way to send it, create a script that will send it automatically as an email. But you can easily generate the PDF report, download it, and send it to whatever you want, the customer or colleagues or the management, etc.
Are those alerts sent out into mobile phones?
We haven't tested that yet. I think there is an opportunity to send it. Of course, if you have a web browser on your phone, you can easily access the graphical user interface, the alarm console, and see the alarms from there. But it's also, we are thinking of integrating also via SMS. So we can send an SMS instead of email to your phone, if that's a scenario that is interesting for someone.
Correct, Spiros. It's one of the features that we are examining to include, but at this stage you can benefit from the, we can send the notifications, we can have these notifications being sent to the different applications that will raise an alert and a notification on the end user device. As for example, the email application or any other ITSM systems that Spiros described before. But it's one of the features that they are examining to include in the next release.
The next question, how flexible the system to accommodate high growth SMEs where IT infrastructure changes rapidly and becomes more complex with more areas that require monitoring leading to more checkpoints? How flexible the system is?
As we mentioned, the architecture of the system is able to accommodate high growth in terms of scalability, and also in terms of storage. This is an advantage of utilizing a cloud service for you guys, because you don't have to worry about any storage or any updates on the system, etc. This is all monitored by us. And we believe our architecture of the system and our resources can accommodate even high growth companies with complex and rapid growing infrastructure.
And if I may add, it's not only the technology, but also our license scheme has been designed in a way to be scalable and support you in the event. If you grow, you can get additional packs as Bambos described, and have and include also your additional assets to our monitoring platform.
And also, Harry, let me also add to this question, beyond the additional pack of elements, devices to actively monitor, going back to the question about the fast-growing SMEs, etc. You know, depending on what type of complexity is based on the question, we could sit down with you at that point of time and create as a specialized service specific, maybe complicated scripts that you might need just for you to monitor different other aspects of this fast-growing complex infrastructure as per your question. Thank you.
Does it have functionality to accommodate changes in the system with automatic updates in all other related areas?
If you mean to accommodate changes in your systems, this was not our intention from the start. So the design of this service is clearly monitoring, meaning that we don't have access, that kind of access to give us the opportunity to do some changes on the systems, like configuration changes and things like that. There is, as I already mentioned, a limited functionality in terms of running a simple script, perhaps on an alarm, but that's it. This platform is not to do configuration and changes. If you mean to updates in our system, this is of course of no concern to our customers. All the updates will be automatically provided by us with no disruption of the service. Regarding the agents and the proxies, if they are needed to be updated.
What happens if we take a laptop with an agent out of the proxy region?
Okay, in this case, to be able to communicate, you need the agent to be to have network access with the proxy. In this case, if it is a laptop, we need to see how, when, and if required, to monitor laptops. But in that case, you will need to have, for example, a VPN connection with your own, with your data center, with the premise where the proxy is installed, in order to establish network communication, have the logs, the metrics be sent to this proxy and then transferred to our monitoring platform.
Yes, exactly. As long as the target machine, which has the agent, can communicate with a proxy, that's fine. Doesn't need to be inside your premises.
If it is GDPR compliant, and for this, and is it possible to monitor a UPS?
Okay, for the GDPR, I think Spiros described during the demo that the data being collected do not contain any sensitive information, do not contain any private data, personal data. It's just metrics. It's just metrics that are being collected about the availability, the capacity, and this kind of information. So it does not include anything that may be that needs to trigger any GDPR-related activities. Now, the second question, you take it, Spiros.
Yeah, for the UPS is the same case we described before. Like, if there is a well-known UPS vendor, we can find a template for that, a monitoring template, and put it in our portfolio, create a dashboard for you, and just like that. So we have to ensure every time that the technology that you want to monitor, the vendor or the model is supported. And if it is, which by more than 90% it will be, we can easily integrate it into the system and provide you with dashboards regarding the UPS.
Is it still sending data to the server, or does it require the proxy?
Can you repeat it, Daphne, please?
Yes. Is it still sending data to the server, or does it require the proxy?
Okay,
you mean directly, send directly to the server? Yes, that's possible, but we don't encourage it because of if we don't utilize the proxy, we lose all the advantages that we already discussed. But of course, yes, if there is a need to do that, we can do that, but we don't recommend it. We recommend it to have a proxy, which is very light. It's just a virtual machine with running CentOS, Linux. And that, as I said, give us various advantages. But if that is not possible, we can send the agent to communicate directly with the server. That means that every target that we have, every agent that you may have, it's gonna use its own direct connection to the server.
Okay, and the last question before we end the event: how easy it is to deploy the solution, including time when the data collection starts? How easy it is to deploy the solution, including time when the data collection starts?
The data collection starts when we will have completed the installation of the agents in the proxy. So at that time, I think Spiros is ready. It's just a configuration of the account and is ready to be delivered to the customer.
Yes, exactly. As soon as the agent communicates with the proxy and the proxy communicates with the server, the data are starting are all set. Yeah. Usually the implementation is as follows. First, we install the proxy. We establish the secure connection with the server, and then we start deploying the agents, which, as we said, locally communicate with the proxy. And from the time that the agent is up and running, we apply the necessary and the appropriate corresponding monitoring templates. For example, if I have an infrastructure, a server, which is running a Windows operating system and has inside an IIS application server, we will deploy two monitoring templates, one for the operating system of Windows server and one monitoring template for the IIS. And when I say two monitoring templates, on one agent. Okay, so one agent can deploy as many monitoring templates that we want. So for example, after a period of time in that server, you may disable the IIS and install an Oracle database. So in that case, we remove the monitoring template of IIS, introduce another monitoring template of Oracle, and the data are starting to flow. It's so simple.
Excellent.
Okay. If you have any more questions, we have a last one. Does it mean it supports all Windows releases?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. So far, we haven't seen any compatibility issues, as I said. But as I already said, it's crucial for you to come to us to discuss and see in detail what kind of infrastructure you have, to do a good workshop before. And then after the workshop, we can very detailed gives you back the information of what we can support, what is not supported. But I think that regarding the Windows operating systems, we can go back to pretty early releases. Yeah.
Okay. If you have more questions, you can contact us at solutions@logicom.net, or you can contact your account manager directly. And we would like to thank you very much for your participation and your interest today. We look forward to your emails and calls regarding our new service, and stay tuned for the next innovative solution from Logicom Solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.